Yeah, so this is the family land. Do a quick little video clip. The corner there, that's the kind of grave spot there where my dad and mom and everybody's buried. And that's the bamboo tree where the Duppies used to live. Maybe they kind of got visas and emigrate now. And that's where the clearance of the land, the debris, so that's going to be compost soon. Another bamboo tree here, and that's still part of the land. That's where other brother Dennis built his house over there. And there's a tractor. It's a big project, you know. And the old house and the back car. That's a Ethiopian apple tree. There's an ackee tree there. And we're gonna come to the mangoes in a minute. In the old days, in this little patch here, my dad used to have 100 hives of bees, and we produced 5 barrels of honey a year for export. Logwood honey in them days. Logwood tree is only native to Jamaica, doesn't grow anywhere else in the world. Was the pigsty. We used to have about 100 pigs, and was a very advanced technology thing at the time. This passageway here was like it had a elevator type of lift that would put the pigs in the truck, and the watering system, and behind there was a kind of a pond or some kind of soak away thing, and it made our home into a permaculture place, which I didn't realize at the time. And this is the old house where we all grew up. At the moment, derelict. Maybe somebody should fix it up and restore the original. So this is how we used to live. This is our window, just a little bit of glass, louver glass, and our front door. No security whatsoever. We just pulled a little latch, and that's how we went in. We didn't have keys or anything, so there was no crime, no violence, nothing back there, you know. Crime was when they stole your goat. But yeah, and this is the well. This used to be, we were famous because this was filtered water supplying a lot of Westmoreland, and trucks and stuff would come here, and my dad would never charge any money. So this is across the way here, Dennis's house where he built. So yeah, that's our neighbor. Across here was some kind of little hill with a lot of things. We used to look, there were trees here. There's a stream down there, and this was cane field. It looks like corn at the moment. And in the stream we used to swim and play. You can see it's quite muddy. At one time it was a rice kind of thing, rice farming. Yeah, and this room here was like what they call a storeroom, or we kept animal feed in there. And as a child I used to have a little animal sanctuary here where I would try and rehabilitate injured animals and chickens and goats, whatever I could. So all the trees were destroyed by man and hurricanes, and because of whatever my brother decided. But a lot of trees have grown back, and this is a mango trees. So that's a Julie tree. And that's a guinea tree. That's called a man guinea. It's got a long pointy one, which is a rare heritage variety. That one over there is a castor oil tree. That's where castor oil comes from, and it's quite a big one. So let's have a quick walk through this mango tree. That one is looks like a Hayden mango. When it ripens and falls off the tree, it's at the peak. Look at that. And these are some Julie. Fell off the tree. When we were kids in the house there, we used to listen when the mango drop. We run out. This is a kneesberry tree here, and this is a Graham mango tree, which, let me see the mango. So in my opinion, this is Jamaica's best mango. It's not good for expo or anything like that. So if you ever come to Jamaica and you try to taste a Graham mango, you got the best. This is a hogberry tree. I can't believe we have one here, because we had one before. It's a very rare Jamaican plant. It's a berry, that nutty, soft berry. Tastes wonderful. And that's the yard I grew up in. We used to play here. Everything here. See the mango tree. Yeah. Hanging on in there. What's going on here? There's my bad boy brother Dennis. And this is a guango tree. There's a couple here, big trees there. In the middle of it there's a cherry tree. Look at them cherries. Wow. So the guango tree is very nice for cooling, and I think the scientists have now found out that it actually has a little spray that it emits that cools you down. So it's 30 degrees out there, and it's like air conditioned here under these guango trees. So it's just phenomenal. And of course it has a lot of benefits. So that's our neighbor. We had grew up with our friends Paul and Keith. Used to live over there, 2 houses. And yeah, their dad was an Englishman, Mr. Buckland, and they're just getting on with life. One of the grandchildren is known as a very bad person, unfortunately. But sometimes in Jamaica, bad is good and good is bad. We don't know. There's a star apple tree. We used to climb this like hell. It hasn't grown much bigger, but it's old tree and it's magnificent. Here's some red skin star apple there. From this vantage point, we could look across them houses over that side on the next street. It's so lush and natural. It's unbelievable. What's her name? Musu. Some lady called Musu. She comes from there, Musu Golab. She's married to the head of the Baptist Union in England. I think she lives in Manchester somewhere. And if we look down my street here, there's barely you can see somebody there. It's our colleague called Tati. Guy grew up down here. I think he's kind of the country's top sound engineer man. And that truck there is known as the Beast. It's the most famous mobile music thing in the country. I think it's gonna play here at the wake. So Tati Hines, his name is, little plug. Yeah, so there's our house from a different angle. That's my mother's bedroom. And this little spot here was the house spot of one of our uncles on my mother's side called Uncle Cab Salabi, and he's the one. This is where Nathan Salabi grew up, in my yard, literally. This guy became the head of Dynamic Sounds Records, which is the guy who's responsible for putting reggae music on the global map, and nobody knows him. To be honest, I think this spot should be, you know, made into something, because Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, Rolling Stones, Peter, this is the guy that made all these productions and got it on the global map. So I don't know, there should be a little special spot. And then some ripe mangoes there to top it all off, waiting for it to drop.